Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod, along with Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris and stateside Mauricio Ruiz. I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up today on the pod, we preview a big matchup with a Florida rival this weekend, plus share how you can make a difference when you come to the game. We hear from Sporting Jack's USL Championship head coach Liam Fox as he prepares for his first season at the helm on the First Coast. And the U.S. men's national team did what? We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated, with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. Okay, first we should say welcome back to Mauricio Ruiz, not in Jacksonville, but in the state. We're getting closer.
Dangerously close.
Dangerously close, Mal.
So close, but yet so far at the same time. We're almost there. You know, it's funny, things you don't think about when you're working abroad and then you work back stateside is just the difference in morning to afternoon. Most of my meetings in Europe are afternoon meetings to correlate to morning meetings here. So then I have to get reminded that we record this at 10:30, not at 3:30 in the afternoon. So happy to be with you guys in a bright, early, sunshine Florida weather. Happy to be back with lots family and friends.
Sure. Welcome back.
We will see if we can sneak Mauricio in to the Gemstone Media Studios for a live and in-person taping of the podcast.
I think that's doable. Give me a little bit, couple of weeks here, and I think that's very doable and very desirable for me to do that. I'd love to see you guys.
Yeah. Mal and I have never met, so
That's
I really
amazing.
think we need to make this happen.
Oh,
Is that right?
Yeah. So much your morning routine that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, you hear what I eat for breakfast every Thursday, so now we really have to meet in person to discuss it.
Perfect.
All right, well, let's get into this. Sporting Jacks will take on Fort Lauderdale United on Saturday, 7:30 at Hodges Stadium. Tickets are available by going to sportingjacks.com or by calling 904-863-KICK. The game will also be broadcast on Channel 4. Becky Burley will be in the booth with me. Emerson will be on the sidelines. It is Military Appreciation Day, and we have probably more than just two ways for you to help at this game. Before we get into the game itself, we should mention that we will be holding a food drive with our friends at Feeding Northeast Florida. If you would like to bring non-perishable food items, we'll have some barrels to make the donations there. If you would prefer to make a cash donation, they would actually prefer that as well because they can make the dollar go further than you can by going to the store. You can do that. You can find the QR code on our social media and make that donation. Anybody making a donation will receive a pair of tickets to the December 20th game against Tampa Bay Sun. There are also care packages, Tony, that are being put together?
Yes, we have care packages for helicopter detachment overseas. We are collecting at the tailgate also. There's a list at sportingjacks.com/mission. They're all creature comforts. You know, we do feed our soldiers, so that's good. Yeah. But things like, jerky and gum and, just kind of stuff that'll make their day, K-cups, that sort of thing. So really excited about that. This came from a young lady who the broadcast and social team did a good job interviewing. If you go to our socials, she's one of our aquatics swimmers, and her dad dad and mom are retired helicopter pilots with the Navy. And so this was her initiative. We love it, and we really hope you can come support.
By the way, aquatic swimmers are the best kind of swimmers.
That's right. Yeah.
In the water, tends to work out the best. The other thing, this is Military Appreciation Day, Emerson, and it's going to mean a lot to everybody. Of course, Jacksonville is a big military town with the Navy bases and sub base not too far away, and a lot of reservists who are here and retired military. It will also have a little extra meaning for some of the Sporting Jacks players.
Yes, and one thing that I've been talking about with my friends a lot recently, just thinking about all the things we're doing for this game, is that it takes a village. In our friend group, we go pick each other up from the airport. We help each other when we're sick. And so I think also within this team and within this community, it also takes a village. So I'm so glad that we're giving back to the people that have served our country and are currently serving our country. But yes, we spoke to Ashlyn Puerta and Daviana Vaca at practice this week. Ashlyn's brother is currently at West Point, and Davi's sister is serving in the Navy. She's been in the Navy for 20 years. She just got deployed earlier this week again. So I'm excited to tell those stories on the sideline a little bit more.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And then, of course, the game itself, Mao, is a big one. It's number 2 against number 3 in the Gainbridge Super League table and the first meeting in this Florida rivalry.
Or can we call it a rivalry when we haven't played against each other yet?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I'm calling it.
It's the frozen iguana derby.
The frozen iguana derby. Well, it's interesting because we played so many teams multiple times already, but for Lauderdale, which are in second place, as you mentioned, and we're at third, we haven't faced up against each other yet. And it's two teams that look very similar statistically speaking. They've scored 17, they've allowed 17, we've scored 19, they've allowed 19. And yeah, we both sit in a position to climb and really secure playoff spot positioning or distancing from other teams. So the rivalry that's been going on, it's this upcoming Saturday will be really interesting as the two teams that are very similar in many different ways and have had a really good season will face up against each other. Now, being at home, being Military Appreciation Night, that gives hopefully our ladies an extra edge outside of just this long-lasting rivalry that we've had for so many years.
Yeah, I think it's listen. It's rivalries are built on geography. They're built on games that matter to both sides. Upsets sometimes can add to it, but just simply the geography of having these three teams in Florida. I will also point out an interesting fact that I will also utter likely on the broadcast on Saturday. There are three teams in the Gainbridge Super League, 3 of the 9, that have women as head coach. All 3 of those teams are in the state of Florida. How about that?
Yes.
Woot woot.
Yeah,
Women
let's
in
go.
sports.
So there you go.
Women in general.
Yeah, women are awesome.
They're the best.
Yep,
Literally.
much better than the men. No
Seriously.
doubt.
No debate.
I've met several of both.
Let's move on.
All right. Speaking of women and men, your family pack is a great way to enjoy Sporting Jacks. Up to 8 people can come to the game. As a group, you get a meal voucher. You can choose any game on the schedule. You might choose Saturday's game against Fort Lauderdale United. Go to sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK. All right, let's focus on the men's team for a moment. I want to hear from head coach Liam Fox. I taped an interview with him this week. He's back in Scotland, in Edinburgh. And one of the things I wanted to know about was, as he is having conversations, along with Mark Warburton, with potential players to join the roster for the first time, are there specific traits that he's really looking for? And he said there absolutely are, and he's had a lot of that kind of conversation with potential players.
Yeah, I think that probably follows on from what I was just talking about there, is that I'm really, really clear on how I want the environment to be. I've been fortunate enough to be around some really, really good cultures and really, really good environments, and I've also been around some that haven't been so good. So part of my learning and development as a coach is picking the good bits from these things and also trying to steer away from the other things. And it's really, really... These early conversations with players are so important because I get to lay the foundations, like you say. I get to sort of give them a guideline of what things I expect, what things that I will not tolerate and things. And that can just be as important as the stuff that you do expect, because we're all humans, we all make mistakes, we all have difficult days, we all have off days at work. But going back to the 3 things that I spoke about previously, these things are going to be really, really consistent and really, really important for me and us moving forward. And we need to live and die by these things. So I'm getting pretty well versed at these conversations.
All right, so that's head coach Liam Fox. Tony, when you hear him talk about those specifics, what strikes you?
Well, it sounds like he's really wants to input discipline, really have folks mentally prepared as well as, sort of physically. I love that. I think that's super important, but it's also something, a golden thread that I think Stacy has too, right? Like she's not overwhelming taskmaster. I mean, that I can see, I'm not at every training ground, but it does feel like those two have some similar philosophy, and maybe that's because of Mark and the way that he helped select them to lead. But very excited to hear it.
One of the things we've learned about Stacy is that she really likes to be structured in her planning, make sure that she's looking at it from every angle, and then put together a plan for preparation so the team is ready to go. Seems like that probably is going to be similar with Liam, although we'll see how it all plays out. But Emerson, you had an observation hearing those comments about from Liam, kind of your take on it.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this podcast, so I'm not going to, but I'm agreeing with what Tony said. Is he seems like he's really going to bring the discipline to this team, and it is similar to Stacy. I was talking to Davi last night, and she was talking about their calendar coming up and how many days they have off. And I was thinking, wow, these coaches, they really don't have that much time off. And I feel like Stacey's always working around the clock, and it seems like that's what Liam is doing even right now, prepping for the upcoming season. And also because I am a great hire to this team, but also a personality hire. I saw on Instagram this morning that Liam Fox hard launched his job on Instagram.
Oh,
and
cool. There we
he
go.
put it out to all of his fans. So that was nice to see.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited for what he's going to bring to the team.
It's Instagram official now.
Yes.
Mao, creating a culture in your first season is big, even bigger when there's never been a men's team in this club.
It is. And the things that he talked about, I mean, he rarely spoke about the quality of the technical player. Obviously, talent is important, and he's going to be seeking out talent, but that's actually easier to spot than some of the other intangibles. So when you talk about building a culture, it really starts with mentality. So those items that he mentioned, the discipline, the toughness, you want to build a culture with people that are already on the track of, from like a like-mindedness. If you're going to build a culture with people that are pushing the other way, you're going to have enough problems as it is with like-minded people. So that's going to be a first. If you want to build, you got to build a culture with people that you can actually feel like you can get into the scrum with and get a bit of a fight. Like how I use a Scottish rugby metaphor there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because otherwise, listen, play professional sports, the sports at any era, it's hard enough, right? You have too many, kind of things that are going against you. So at least you want to know that there are some people in your locker room that have the right mentality that are going to help you get through those tough moments. And as you mentioned, Tony, Stacey has done that already. That's why we see this team in the early season be doing so well. And I'm sure that Mark is focusing out with Liam as a young head coach too. That's giving them a mentorship. Let's get the right people in place, and then so we can grow their talent.
Yeah, that's going to be big, and we're going to be following that story. We expect that in the next month or so, we'll have some things like the first schedule will be out, first signings, additional hirings on the staff. A lot of firsts that we went through with the women's team still to come on the men's side. And by the way, right now you can get your season ticket reserved for the men's team. Just $25 reserves your spot. Gets you first of the line, and as soon as the map opens up, you'll have the first chance to choose your season tickets for the Sporting Jacks USL Championship debut. The regular season opens in March. Training camp opens in January, so we are just around the corner. Go to sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK. If you've been listening to this podcast, you've heard me say that number, I think, about 4 times now, so remember it.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. That's right. More on Sporting Jacks every weekend. The Sporting Jacks Report, noon on Saturday on NBC 12. You can also join us on the radio Tuesdays at 6 for the Coaches Show. Stacey Balaam joins me. We had Liam in this past week. A player, by the way, this last week's episode, an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Stacey Balaam, Liam Fox, and the captain, Sophie Jones. It was great.
We got to link that
Cool.
somewhere.
Yeah.
You sound so young. Absolute banger. I'm loving this lingo.
That's old school.
He's talking about the gram. He's talking about bangers.
Bangers an old school soccer
I'm keeping
term.
Cole young.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour every Thursday night at 6 on AM 930, Fox Sports Radio Jacksonville. Mauricio, Becky Burley, Emerson, and me every week to get you up to date on what's going on. All right, let's talk about the U.S. men's national team. It has been an on-again, off-again love affair with Emerson Burris and the U.S. men's national team. She quit them once and then started to get drawn back in, and then a 5-1 win over Uruguay. Let's update the relationship status now. Emerson, where are you with the U.S. men's national team?
Every week, every game, I'm just inching in a little bit more, and they are continuing to gain my respect back. I was sitting on the edge of the couch after every goal. It was just one after another after another. My mom FaceTimed me after the first goal and was like, oh my gosh. So it's so fun. And I mean, this squad was not at full strength. We were still missing quite a few players. So I think this is a really good sign.
I think Potch was cooking. I think there was very weird lineup, very unpredictable
9
lineup.
changes from the previous?
Yeah, and man, and Uruguay is not they're nothing to joke about, right?
They're 16th in the range.
Yeah, two-time World Cup champ. Of course, that was before our time, but it's it's still something. And yeah, I was driving for most of the match, and it would be like a goal, and I'd be like, oh, they're playing the replay. Right, because it was like 20 minutes of just goals, and I'm like, nope, that was a new one.
Mal, what was your takeaway after having a chance to go back and watch the game?
Yeah, that I was watching like an under 17 World Cup game match or some friendly that was not real. I had to go and check the lineup. Similar to you, Tony, I was not watching it live, so I just kept getting the updates. So I wait to see if Uruguay was actually playing with a bit of a reserve team. And when I realized that they were playing with pretty much 90% of their top players, and we were playing with 90% of not of our top players, I think only Freeze and Des were the only two holdovers that we can, assume are going to be starters in the World Cup. It was quite alarming, specifically when Uruguay under Mark Bielsa does not give up more than 2 goals. They haven't given up more than 2 goals in 3 years. So that was an impressive performance for us.
I wonder in Bielsa's career how many people have hung 5 on him. I bet not many. He's such a disciplinarian guy and such a defensive guy. I'd be interested to see. He was sitting on the cooler, which I loved. But
We'll point out too is that Pochettino is his disciple.
Yeah.
So Pochettino worked under Bielsa, and he talks about his style. It's very much because of what he learned from Bielsa. So a lot of respect. If you notice, Pochettino didn't celebrate any of the goals. When he started getting to 2, 3, 4, he kind of just gave the little arm pump, hugged his assistants, but didn't celebrate out of respect because he knew what was happening was out of character for a Uruguay team.
Can we talk just 1 second? Mal, do you know anything about the Freeman kid? That's Antonio Freeman, the Green Bay legend. I never heard of him. Like, honestly, I mean, I my radar for MLS isn't very good. But I just, like, it was incredible. He had such a match.
His growth has been incredible. So he's a South Florida kid that was scouted by Orlando City a couple of years back when he was 15, 16. So he's been in the Orlando City Academy system for a while. And I've actually, in my scouting role, I scouted him several times. And technically, he's just never been quite there. He's always had the mentality and the physical attributes that we see. That Paraguay game when he stood up for himself, when he got, a chokehold and he pushed and he started that bit of a fight. That's always been him, but in a very immature way at times. In the last 2 years, Orlando City has done a really good job of developing him, continue to develop him technically. Because the physical and the mental attribute, Dad's a professional football player. He's had those. And it's great to see how well he has done. And Cole and I, we talked to you about this. The gap between Serginho Dest and Freeman as our number 1 and number 2 right back option. But Freeman actually plays as our right center back in his game.
Mm-hmm.
So his tactical flexibility, and he can play on the left-hand side too. And that second goal that he had, that was a masterpiece. I think everybody was looking at that, even the people that have watched him since he was 15 years old, were like, that's not the Freeman that we have known. So he's developed other areas of his game, and it's great to see that Pochettino's just trusting him right now.
Yeah, it was that was not one I had on my schedule.
Who could have? Who could have?
A pair of goals for Freeman against Uruguay was not something. Well, you would have made some money on that prop bet, to be sure. All right, let's get into our Premier League contest. Last week, the international break, so we didn't have any picks, but let's quickly review the standings. Right now, we have a tie atop the leaderboard with Mauricio and myself, 20 points, 6-2-2. We have Antonio Allegretti, 19 points, 6-3-1. And Emerson Burris III with 4-3-2, 14 points, trying to close. I will point out again, you cannot take a team more than twice. There have been some occasions where a team has been picked twice. For instance, Tony has picked Forest on 2 different occasions.
Ooh.
So
thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah,
not that I had them this week.
No. So let's see how it all goes. Mal, let's start with you with your pick here on this restart after the international break.
Tony, earmuffs for a second.
That's okay. That's fine.
I'm going to go Man United versus Everton.
Oh, okay. That's risky, bro, but okay.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, but after a break,
this would be
teams always come out a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So
By the way, this would be
Man
the
U-
second. This would be the second time that Mauricio will have taken Man U this year. So this will be the last pick for Man U.
Now, if I lose this, can I pick them again later? So it's kind of like
No,
when a coach throws a red
that's
flag.
a no, bro.
Nope. Yeah, this is it. Last chance for you to pick Man
And
U.
next year, here's a little tip. Next year, I think we should allow draws as a pick, and you get 3 for the draw. That's
We'll put it in a committee.
Yeah,
the competition committee will discuss.
competition committee.
All right, Tony, your pick.
Yeah, I'm going to do Chelsea at Burnley.
That is a good pick. This will be your second pick of Chelsea.
Right. I'm just knocking them out.
Yeah. I consider that pick as well, but I've already picked Chelsea once, and I want to save them a little bit. So I did the same thing that Mauricio's doing. I have not picked Man U yet. I'm going to take Man U against Everton. Full disclosure here, I wrote down my pick before Mal made his.
Okay.
So it was already done.
Yeah, I'm seeing a trend here, Cole. I think that's the second week in a row that you're falling here.
Yeah.
So
All right, I'll lead you next week.
Maybe I'm throwing you off the set. Maybe that's what I'm doing this week. I'm throwing you off the set.
Maybe so.
I certainly hope so.
All right, Emerson, your pick.
Well, I'm not copying anyone, and I'm not overthinking it, and I'm going Bournemouth at home over West Ham. And might I add, even though I'm in last place in this competition, earlier, before the season started, we did say who we thought was going to win the Golden Boot. If you guys can remember that long ago.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And leading in goals is Holland, and that's who I said. And he has 14, and in second place is 8. So, yeah, I'd just like to add that.
Well, that's a stretch. I'm ready to go to
Really trying hard.
Killing it. No,
I'm celebrating the little wins, guys.
Honestly,
Come
could be
on.
anybody. Golden Boot, that's really good. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You're very nice, Tony.
Tony's,
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Tony's the nice one. We know that. We will we'll revisit these not next week. Next week is Thanksgiving when we usually record on Thursday. So no podcast next week. But we will do a I'll convene a group text, and we will pick these games as well. So we'll be picking internally. We'll review both weeks when we return next. It'll be in December by the time we get back into the podcast studio.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun, guys.
I had so much fun today.
Thanks so much, Mal.
Yeah. Okay, go.
I was going to say, great to have you in the state of Florida. Tony has other things he's going to jump in with here, but
the only thing there's 2 things now is that Mal, we do have to see you physically. I don't know if you can come to the 13th match or the 20th or whatever, but we've got to take a new photo because our thumbnail doesn't include Emerson.
Yeah.
And I've lost some weight since it, so I'm like really interested in that. And then the only other thing that I was going to say is that if you're interested in coming to our ribbon cutting at the Boys and Girls Club, we have a new facility. That's December 4th.
The mini pitch.
The mini pitch. That's December 4th, 4 o'clock, Baxter Luther. Please come out. Show your support for the kids.
I have something.
all right, go.
What's everyone's favorite Thanksgiving food?
All right. Listen, I mean,
God, there's so many.
I'm going to say this.
Beans, greens, tomatoes. Sorry.
Can't believe you know that. Wow.
Emerson thinks that
We have the internet, Emerson.
Right.
We,
her generation doesn't know anything that happened before they were born, and they're amazed that our generation knows anything that happened since they've been born. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. Listen, I have a recipe for smoked turkey that was published in the Cooking with Intuition cookbook.
Wow.
And I would urge anybody to find that book if you can. It's probably find one at Chamberlain or someplace, a used bookstore. And it is a can't miss recipe if you do it right.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
too.
It's a big one, especially if you have a big green egg as I do.
Have you ever done a 30-minute cooking show?
I did a competition cooking show at one point where I was a judge on.
I'm just wondering because I did that thing with Keitha, and
I
it was
saw
so
that.
fun.
Oh, yeah. It was so cool.
It was good because it was so awesome because she did a research, so she had like these amazing, really reaching questions. So it's called Game Changers. If you Google that, First Coast News, it was super fun. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
Plug.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder because being published is obviously a major deal.
I'm trying to remember the name of the show that I was on. Claire Robinson, who's her family's in St. Augustine. She's a Food Network chef and host that's on it a lot. She was on it. David Goss from New Orleans.
Bobby Flay.
What wasn't Bobby Flay? But it was a cooking competition show. We shot it down at Friendship Fountain, and there were 4 local cooks, and they had to go into the larder and pick what they're going to do, and they were given specific things, and then it was all grilling, all different grilling things. But Emerson, what's your favorite Thanksgiving?
I don't really love Thanksgiving food.
What? Well, it was your question.
I know. Well,
what is going on here?
Okay, well, I thought I would break format this week and
you did.
throw little festivities into it.
But would not have anything?
No, it's
mac and cheese, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Traditional Thanksgiving. My Pa Allegretti, which is my dad's dad, used to make a stuffing with oysters. It was really good.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Mal, how about you?
One of my faves.
Yeah, I'm a good old traditional turkey and gravy. I don't eat that a lot during the year, so. And I don't eat that during Thanksgiving a lot either because I get full pretty quickly, but I love a good turkey.
All right.
Yeah, well, you're all going to show up at your place, Cole.
Come on. We already have. Listen, I will tell you just in the final minutes here. We have sort of developed a tradition because neither my wife nor I have family here in Jacksonville. So we kind of become the overflow spot. So we have different empty nesters and single friends and different people who show up and sometimes bring kids with them, sometimes not, so it's a big fest, and so we'll have a big bird, and so stop on by.
Lovely.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here on the Sporting Pod. Have a happy Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday of the year, by the way. I'm just going to tell you that. And if you can just please hold off on putting up the Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving.
Blasphemy. No.
Let Thanksgiving have its day.
Are you up already?
Well,
you got your...
I don't have a tree here. But
they do
if
have
I
trees
did,
here.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if I did have a tree, and I think my mom actually just sent me my Christmas decorations,
cool.
They will be going up as soon as they get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. Yeah,
Let Thanksgiving have its day. That's all I ask.
Me and my roommate have not done Christmas yet.
No? Okay. That's good. All right. For Mauricio Ruiz, for Tony Allegretti, for the Christmas happy Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.